You're not too sensitive. You're not broken. You're not just bad at relationships. You might be carrying something you've never had a name for. Research shows that over 70% of adults have lived through at least one traumatic experience. But here's what almost nobody talks about. Most of them never connect it to the way they behave today, the way they speak, the way they love, the way they can't seem to just rest. And the part that surprises most people. None of it looks like trauma from the outside. It looks like being responsible, being funny, being fine. There are 7 specific ways unspoken trauma quietly shapes who you are. And by the time we get to number 5, you're going to realize something about yourself you probably always wrote off as just the way you are. Keep watching, because what you're about to hear might be the first time something finally makes sense. Think about the last time someone asked you a simple question and you gave them a 5-minute explanation nobody asked for. Or the last time a door slammed somewhere in the house and your whole body went rigid before your brain even caught up. Maybe you spend an entire evening with people you love and walk away completely drained. Not because you don't care about them, but because being seen, even by safe people, costs you something you can't explain. Or maybe this one hits closer. You crave connection more than almost anything. But the moment someone actually gets close, something in you starts looking for the exit. If any of that sounds familiar, this video is not going to tell you something is wrong with you. It's going to show you why you do it. And those are very different things. Because here's what most people never get the chance to hear. The behaviors that confuse you most about yourself didn't come from nowhere. They came from somewhere very specific. And once you can see that clearly, something shifts. Now, before we get into all 7, there is one in particular I want you to hold in the back of your mind. It's something a lot of psychologists quietly refer to as a silent protector. It was one of the smartest things your younger self ever did to survive. But today, without you realizing it, it is slowly costing you the closeness you actually want. We'll get there. But first, let's start at the beginning. Sign 1. You apologize for existing. Picture this. You're walking through a crowded store, and someone cuts right into your path and bumps straight into you. And before you can even think, before your brain has processed what just happened, you hear yourself say sorry. Not them. You. You apologized for being in a space you had every right to be in. Most people brush that off as being polite. But it goes deeper than manners. At some point in your life, making yourself smaller, agreeing faster, speaking softer, disappearing a little, was how you kept the peace. Maybe it kept someone calm. Maybe it kept you safe. Your body learned that lesson so well, it still runs that program today, automatically, without your permission. And here's the bridge into the next one, because it's not just about how you move through the world. It's about what you believe you deserve in it. Sign 2. You can't accept a compliment. Someone tells you that you did a great job, that you look amazing, that they're really proud of you, and something in you immediately wants to push it away. Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it. I just got lucky. You deflect it before it can land. From the outside, people think you're being modest, but what's actually happening is that somewhere along the way, praise came with conditions. It wasn't just given, it was earned and then taken back. Or it never really came at all, so your mind learned to be suspicious of it, to treat it like a trap rather than a gift. You're not being humble, you're bracing for the part that comes after. And if receiving kindness feels uncomfortable, wait until you hear what your body does with stillness. Sign 3. You over-prepare for everything. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You play out the worst possible version of every scenario. You can't fully enjoy something good because part of your mind is already scanning for what could go wrong. People around you might call you a planner, responsible, detail-oriented. But if you're honest with yourself, it doesn't feel like organization. It feels like you cannot relax until every possible outcome is accounted for. Like the moment you stop watching, something bad will happen. Ask yourself this honestly. When was the first time the world felt truly unpredictable to you? When was the first time you realized that things could fall apart without warning? Because that moment, wherever it is in your memory, is likely where this started. Your mind never fully got the signal that it was safe to stand down. And if your mind won't let you prepare enough to feel safe, your body won't let you rest either. Sign 4. You feel guilty when you do nothing. You finally sit down. No tasks, no obligations, nowhere to be. And within minutes, sometimes seconds, there it is. That creeping feeling that you should be doing something. That resting is somehow wrong, that you haven't earned it yet. For some people, calm was never just calm growing up. It was the quiet before something broke. The moment before a mood shifted or an argument started. Peace wasn't peace, it was a warning. So your body learned not to trust it. Stillness started to feel like danger wearing a disguise. Today, when everything is actually fine, you still can't fully settle into it. You stay busy, not because you love being busy, but because busy feels safer than still. And now, this is the one I mentioned at the very beginning, the silent protector. Number 5. Sign 5. You make jokes when something hurts you, something cuts you deeply. Someone says something that lands right in the most tender part of you. And before the feeling even has a chance to reach your face, you smile, you laugh, you make a joke about it, and everyone in the room laughs with you. And the moment passes, and you made sure of that. Here's what most people never consider. The funniest person in almost every room is often the one carrying the most. Not because humor is a bad thing, but because, for some people, it became the fastest way to cover pain before anyone else could react to it. If you could make them laugh before they could see you hurt, they couldn't use it against you. You stayed in control of the moment. You protected yourself. That was smart. That was survival. But the cost is that nobody ever actually sees when you're struggling, and after a while, you stop expecting them to. Sign 6. You don't know what you're feeling. Someone you trust asks you, genuinely, with care, how are you doing? How are you really feeling? And you go blank. Not because you're hiding something, but because you genuinely don't know. You search inside yourself for an answer and find something foggy, unclear, like trying to read a sign through frosted glass. This one confuses people about themselves more than almost any other, but it makes complete sense when you understand where it comes from. In some homes, feelings weren't welcomed. They were too much, too inconvenient, too dramatic. So you learned, very early, to stop paying attention to them, to push past them and just function. And you got so good at that, that eventually the feelings stopped announcing themselves clearly. You weren't born disconnected from yourself. You were slowly taught that the connection wasn't safe to have. Sign 7. You think everyone's bad mood is your fault. Someone walks into the room quieter than usual. Your stomach drops. Your mind starts running through everything you said, everything you did, trying to find what you did wrong before they even speak. Even when it has nothing to do with you. Even when it couldn't possibly be about you. But something in you needs to know. Needs to find the cause. Needs to fix it before it gets worse. Some people grew up in environments where the emotional temperature of the adults around them determined everything. Whether it was a good day or a bad one. Whether it was safe to speak or better to disappear. So they became extraordinarily good at reading the room, at sensing a shift in energy before it became a storm. You weren't born this way. You were trained by circumstance. You learned to monitor other people's emotions. Because once upon a time, it wasn't just a social skill. It was how you stayed safe. So here is the thing nobody ever says out loud. When most people think about trauma, they picture something visible, something dramatic, somebody who can't get out of bed, somebody reliving a moment over and over, somebody clearly, obviously, undeniably struggling. But that is not what it looks like for most people. For most people, it looks like being the most responsible person in every room. It looks like always having a plan, always being prepared, always making sure everyone around you is okay, always laughing at exactly the right moment, always keeping it together. It looks like being fine. And because it looks fine, because it functions, because it gets things done, because other people even admire it, nobody questions it. Not even you. That is what makes this so hard to see. These things wove themselves so quietly into who you are that at some point you stopped asking where they came from. You just accepted them as you. But here is what I want you to sit with for a moment. Every single thing we just walked through, the apologizing, the deflecting, the over-preparing, the inability to rest, the jokes, the emptiness when someone asks how you feel, the need to manage everyone else's emotions, none of those were mistakes. None of them were weaknesses. They were answers. Intelligent, creative, resourceful answers that a younger version of you came up with under real pressure. They worked. They just never got the update that the situation changed. These are not flaws in who you are. They are solutions that outlived the problem they were built for. And the moment you can see them that way, not as things wrong with you, but as things that once protected you, that is the moment something real begins to shift. If something in this video made you stop and think, if you found yourself nodding at something you've never had words for before, I want you to know that is not a coincidence. That recognition you're feeling right now, that quiet "oh, that's me" moment, that is not small. Most people go years, sometimes their entire lives, without ever connecting who they became to what they lived through. You just did that in 4 minutes. There is a video I made that goes even further into this. It looks at how the way you were loved, or not loved, as a child quietly shapes every relationship you walk into as an adult. Who you're drawn to, why you pull away when things get good, why some connections feel safe, and others feel like standing on unstable ground. It picks up exactly where this one ends. It's linked right here when you're ready. And before you go, I genuinely want to hear from you. Which of these 7 did you recognize in yourself? Not because I'm asking you to perform vulnerability in a comment section, but because every time someone types it out, someone else reads it, and for the first time feels a little less alone in it. Drop it below. You might be surprised how many people are carrying the exact same thing in silence. And I'll leave you with this. You spent a long time not having a name for any of this. Today you do. And while that might seem like a small thing, seeing something clearly, for the first time, is always where it begins. You just did that.